All right, what's up, guys? What's cooking? We are live. Life is good. All right, we're gonna get this kicked off here in a couple minutes. I am definitely running a few minutes behind, so give me a quick sec, guys. We'll go ahead and get started shortly. Help me out, promote this. Shamelessly plug. What's good, fam? All right. Wait a minute. Give me 1 second again, guys. Okay. Let's get this camera on. I'll go floss real quick. It's so random. All right. Well, I'm cooked. I'm not gonna lie. I just done working out. Just ran like 7 miles. Your boy is exhausted. But we gotta do what we gotta do, All right, so let me push this here. Gotta let the people know. All right, let's begin. Cool. All right, let's see here. Well, what's up, guys? Where we coming in from today? Who do I got with me? How's everyone doing so far? Monday was pretty boring until like later. Indices got crazy at the end. So we'll talk a little bit about that. We'll go into everything. But yeah, a little wild ride today. I thought it was gonna be really mellow until it really wasn't. But yeah, silver ended up playing out, which was sick. So I'm grinding. Yo, we on it. I gotta move. Gotta keep progressing on all levels. I asked my grandma. She just turned 98 a couple weeks ago. I asked her. I was like, yo, so what's the key? What's the secret to your longevity? And she's like, work. I was like, what? What do you mean? She's like, yeah. Just don't stop working. And I'm like, that sounds awful. But after kind of diving into what her real message was, is just stay working on you. Like constantly stay focused on progressing, on like building yourself. Just don't stay stagnant. So I think, or maybe it's just kind of who she is and her background and everything. But the way I took it was just don't stay idle and just don't be a bum. I definitely believe in relaxation, decompressing, peacefulness, mindfulness. But I do think that it's really common to just kind of dull yourself in noise and nothingness, just like doom scrolling and things like that. So for me, a big thing was just, okay, how do we do the things that we truly want to do on the long term? Because there's always like what feels good right now. Like how often, and it's just my take on things, I ask myself these questions. Not how life should be, I don't know, but just how I look at life. And it's like, how often do we sacrifice the long term for just like a really short term, the instant gratification things? And I don't know, I feel like my favorite days are the days where I did something I've always wanted to do, or I put in the work that I knew I had in me. You know, like those like that feeling of accomplishment. Not necessarily that like you won something, which also was awesome, but just like you kind of you put it all on the table. You did what you had to do. So like that for me, like you kind of feel like there's like potential, whether it's like minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day, week, year, whatever, like your potential. And like once you feel like, dude, I did what the fuck I was supposed to do today, that kind of like energy just lights me up. And it's in a lot of little things, whether it's financially, you budgeted the way you're supposed to, physically you move the way that you said, okay, if I do these things, I'm on the right path. Maybe you studied, or the way you traded, whatever your system, those kinds of things, like that just fuels me. And I feel like, when you look at, and this definitely stealing this from Hermosi, it's like, imagine at the end of the road, you meet who you could have been. So it's like that mindset to me is so interesting. Like I want to be able to, and at this point, I guess you got to really make up for lost time. But like imagine you meet yourself at the end of the road, like the max potential version of you, who you truly wanted to be over anything else, and imagine it's just a spitting image of you. Now at this point, there's been a lot of years of not doing some of the things that I know I should have been doing, but it's like now it's just like, okay, at least knowing I gave it what I had, and I wasn't weak for the sake of laziness, or for whatever reasons. There's a lot of reasons, right? Comparison, whatever excuses that went out in relation to what you truly wanted to do. So anyways, that's just kind of how I looked at the perspective of my grandma saying, like, just work. So that's how I took it. Whether she meant it like that, I have no fucking clue. But that's it. Like, I don't know. Like that. At least I've had like my years of absolute insane grind that I loved, and then I had a little bit of time where it's like I don't like this anymore, and so I do think there's a good rhythm, but for me, I enjoy that progress. I enjoy that workflow. There's definitely, there's times and there's seasons for certain things, but that's what matters to me, and I think that's part of it. Like, I forgot why I went on this side tangent here to start things off and everything, but kind of redefining your own version of success. And am I choosing the immediate? Am I choosing what's easy, what makes me short term in the now, like feel good? But I know, like, that feeling when like later, maybe whether it's hours later or the next day, you're like, I shouldn't have done that, or I could have taken a different route. It's like, I don't want that. So the more often I made the right choice, the better. And that's kind of like almost the downsides of awareness. The more aware you become about so many different parts of your life, whether how you're responding, is this an emotional response, is this a conscientious, action, am I allowing an excuse to win, or am I truly, acting the way I wanted to, is this and so the more aware you become, there's kind of a double-edged sword, because it's like you also can become, I wouldn't say judgmental, but your standards keep elevating. And to me, that's a good thing. Is it harder overall? Probably. But it's like you get to choose your heart, right? Like everything's going to suck at some point or another. Sometimes it sucks immediately. Sometimes it's going to suck forever. It's like, if you don't, for example, if you don't prioritize your financial awareness, the way in which you are saving, investing, and let's say most of your inflow is outflow too, then yeah, I mean, it could be cool for a while, But then eventually you're like, I'm never going to be able to stop. Like, I'm just going to, this is a never ending hamster wheel is going on. I'll never be able to see all these places I wanted to see, if that's something you want to do. So it's like, there's always a sacrifice. And so it's interesting. Like, when you look at it and you kind of zoom out, it's like, okay, which sacrifices do I want to take today? You know, what regret do I want to live with? I see that more than avoiding regrets. Is more like, all right, which one do I want to have? So, anyways, philosophy aside, you know, convos with grandma in the mountains of El Salvador are lit. But let's dive into some things here today. So let's look at, we got a couple of things going on here in the markets. And, you know, it's interesting. Philosophy or just, you know, I don't know, asking yourself questions about how you go about your day-to-day, how you go about your life. All of this really is always intermingling with trading, like all the time. It's decision-making, right? Trading is really, first it's experimentation, it's exploration. The first, I'd say, couple months, you just don't even know what the fuck you're about to get yourself into. And I'm curious, how long have you guys been trading? I know we got the stream is starting to pop up a little bit, right? It's starting to fill in here. But how long have you guys been trading for? And think about the beginning. Think about, like, before you even started, like, what did you think it was going to be like? It's hard for me to go back to those moments. Super hard, man. Yeah, like I just remember, like I'm doing my best to remember what I thought before I even knew anything. And obviously, you can't possibly expect the reality of it. It's impossible. Like, there's just no way. There's no way someone's like, this is exactly what it's gonna be like. But it's so cool. Like, you don't, like, it's like, I don't know if I thought it was gonna be harder or easier, but I just didn't think it was gonna be like this. And for those of you that are, you know, been doing this, it looks like 5 months, 6 years, 6 months, 3 months, 4 years, 2 years on and off, 1 year seriously, but I was on and off, not serious, for 6 years. Was very ambitious, but still am, just different. Okay, cool. So it's hard, right? Last 8 months, seriously. So either way, regardless, one of the really important things is just thinking about how different it actually is than you would have thought. Because so many people stop their journey because they just don't change their expectations. They want to keep, like, approaching this as if it's going to be how they thought it was going to be, when it's not. You have to adapt. And for anyone on this call, right, like for anyone on the stream right now, like, are you willing to adapt to the truth of it, the reality of it, like the facts? What are the facts? So let's start there. What are the facts of trading? Trading is a combination of what? Your technical analysis skills. Maybe some people don't even do that. Some people don't. Isn't that crazy? That to me is so insane. Some people don't even do technical analysis and they make money. Cool, right? It's so many different ways, but it's a combination of basically have an edge, manage your money responsibly, scale the money you have access to, and then the last part is do the things that in theory make you profitable. Actually do those things. So you can have all of it. You can be investing properly, or in theory, you know, okay, if I invest this much every week, every month, then in 4 years and I'll be where I need to be in capital. In theory, okay, if I follow these exact confirmations on a technical level, there's here my back testing, the demo shows that I should be moving profitably. Awesome. My risk, okay, this is what in theory I should be able to do without, you know, going into 10% drawdown and just always staying within this kind of, you know, zone. But then comes, can I do all this? Will I actually do those things exactly how I'm supposed to do those things? And that's the true test of the game. And I love that. it's like such a love. I wouldn't say hate, but it's just like truth. I really feel like your trading outcomes after a long enough period of time is just truth. This is just who you are right now. This is a reflection of all the proper decisions that you made. Did you manage your margin properly? Properly? Did you do all of these little things well? Here are your outcomes. Sometimes it feels unfair. Sometimes it's like, this doesn't look like the proper representation of what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, well, I've been busting my ass and all I got was this. Yeah. Keep at it. You may just have to scale your capital longer. You may just have to get access to more eventually. You may just have to prove yourself. A 3-month track record, that ain't shit. Might have to do it for longer. What was working now isn't. Okay, find out why. So it's like, this is just, to me, almost like the ultimate mirror. It's cool. I think it's worth it. I think it's very much worth it. So, yeah. Anyways, guys, let's get into it, right? I'll cut the mindset there, and we'll dive into the good stuff here. So let's share screen. Let's dive right in. Okay, cool. I don't know why I can't get my camera on while I'm breaking this down, but that's all right. Y'all got enough of me. I'll be less distracting now. My striking good looks can be disabling when trying to focus, so anyways, welcome everyone that's in here. Shout out to everybody that's been just doing their thing, staying on the grind. Even if you are, been on and off, like you're here now, getting it done. So shout out to you guys. Keep it up. All right, let's dive into it. Okay, so this week, guys, busy week. A lot of dollar news, as you can see here, all across the board. You have, tomorrow the fun really begins. Today, end of the day got a little kooky. We'll go over those things, but tomorrow's where the fun begins. So, fun fact here: this Fed Chair Powell testifies. It's going to be kind of like a 2-part news event. Same thing with Wednesday. He'll say some premeditated stuff, and then there's a little Q&A. So it might be an elongated kind of like news. So just kind of be mindful for that. It might turn into 9 and 9:15 type of news. So just so you guys are ready, Tuesday and Wednesday, for my people that are able to plug in only really right now. Tomorrow is a good day for you. So we'll definitely go over some NGD stuff. We'll dive into stuff like this. That way you guys can kind of get we'll see if there's any setups. I haven't really looked at NGD, so we'll get a fresh set of eyes on that for sure right now. And then Thursday is the day. Thursday this is where it all goes down, to be honest. Little bit of GBP action. So if we got some London session folk on here, check out that Thursday London session. That's second to last London session. No, hold on. Yes, the second to last London session of the week. Peep that, check that out. Thursday though, this is really where things are going to go down. We have CPI and unemployment claims simultaneously. I do expect this to be a volatile day. It's going to be a good time. It is an hour before New York Open. So a lot of times, especially if you're trading indices, which we do, which all the members do every day. We do it in English and in Spanish. The CPI could set up the New York Open. So either, depending on how the market is set, if Wednesday we have some setups, then CPI will probably trigger the setups. If going into Thursday there's really nothing happening, then CPI can shake up the market to set up New York Open, etc. So just so you guys are kind of aware of how this can go down. And same thing, if there's nothing going on, CPI might set up the market, and then Friday's news events could, give us our entries. So this is why you can just kind of like at this point in time, when you have news events that are following up with each other like this, don't be in a rush at all. Like, if you don't see anything, don't trade, because the news event that you don't trade might actually set you up for a way better opportunity with the next news event. Because oftentimes that's kind of how the market's playing off of itself. It's like, okay, this excuse moves the money this way, and then, oh, there's no setups, but there's liquidity. Here comes the news, takes the market, and all of a sudden everyone gets obliterated and then rebalances, and now you're like, oh, here's the setup. So yeah, really never ever feel like you need to be in the market like I gotta catch CPI. You really don't. Sometimes CPI, it'll make cool moves and it'll move a lot, and you're gonna have that feeling like, damn man, like I wish I was in that. And someone in your community, in your chats, a friend, someone online is gonna be like, bro, dude, I just cashed out on that news, man. You didn't trade that? Wow, sucks for you, dude. Toxic people. And or it might just be your best friend. But yeah, there's really no rush ever. Just keep it mellow. Keep it mellow. You'll never miss an opportunity. It wasn't for you. Okay. So getting back into this, let's kick things off with, where should we start? I mean, y'all vote. We'll give it the majority vote here. Blow up the chat. What should we do? We want USD. We want indices. You guys want metals, crypto. What's the vibe? Where do we want to kick things off? Dude, bro, just got 3,000 points on coffee futures, man. That's funny. You have a quote here. You said, results do not equal the amount of energy we spend. Results are the consequences of a series of actions. I agree wholeheartedly. All right, let's see. It's a battle between gold, cryptos, indices, cryptos, gold. You guys are not making this easy for me, like, at all. Okay, gold and Nas. I see Nasty Nas in the building. Is that the boy? Is that our boy Will here? Hold on, let me go to this channel. If it is, he might be in luck today. All right. Yo, guys, I don't ever do this, but you see that name right there, Nasty Nas? That boy Will, he just started his YouTube channel, so yeah, y'all should go check out that channel. If I'm not mistaken, he is going live every Wednesday. Every Wednesday at 6 a.m. Pacific time. So y'all want to catch some sauce right there, click on that Nasty Nas profile. That boy is certified solid with NASDAQ. All right, deserved. That's a deserved shout out right there. So, okay. Oh man, it's like gold. All right, gold I think won. So let's check out metals, guys. We'll start with metals, and we'll go from there. All right, let's see here. All right, so let's check out gold and silver. So let's zoom out a little bit. Let's we don't really do this too often, but let's see the overall landscape of where we're at with gold here. And as you guys can see, gold has done its thing, right? We saw gold clear past its all-time highs finally. Back in August of 2020, we were chopping up here. We had a pretty decent amount of liquidity building up for a few years, honestly. So we saw, from basically for 3.5 years almost, this was just cooking. Actually 3.5 years. And then finally we got above it and the market just reaccumulated and continued on. So will gold eventually work its way back down? Yes, I do believe we will get our way back down to at some point in time. I don't know if it's going to happen yet. I don't have that yet, but I do think we'll get back near 2000 eventually, maybe 2025 at some point. Is that going to happen now? I don't know yet. It could. But in the meantime, we have a good time. So Yeah, Will has been swinging now since I think the beginning of the year. I don't. Yeah, he's wilding out. The dude is in flow state with Nasdaq. Has become one. The Nas Jedi maybe. But we have a nice pump, another nice pump, choppiness, and then we have here. So I mean, at least I think we get back to 22 and change, 2200, right around this area. But before any of that happens, we got to have a good time in this range. However, while we're looking through this, let's start to dissect, because that's the beauty of going from higher time frames to lower time frames. You get to see, close that there. You get to see the detail, the precision from higher time frames to lower time frames. You go from understanding direction to gaining precision. Now, when I see gold here, we lost some momentum. We actually caught this sell here live. This was a good one. And then, I mean, we have been basically trading gold or silver up and down this thing pretty nicely. Now, as we've been flowing now, as the market has been moving sideways since basically April, so we're looking at roughly over a 3-month period of consolidation. So as we go through this, you guys are seeing a bullish trend line, right? You guys can see how the market here is just playing off these levels over and over and over and over again. Guys, we're talking about looks like here, if I have this mistaken, about every 28 days, about every 4 weeks, 4 to 5 weeks, this is hitting the trend line all over again. So this time was a little shorter, 3 weeks. So it's getting tighter and tighter. This one, wouldn't be surprised if we see like this happen sometime this week. But at some point, I do believe this trend line is going to break through. At some point, I think we're going to just absolutely shatter this and just body all of this liquidity. This is a lot of liquidity, guys. There's a lot of retail buyers loading up in this space. The market does not forgive. It will come for this money. It will. I would not be shocked if we get close to 2250 all over again. It could hold and just reaccumulate. But we will, I'm very confident we'll get under this soon. So, when we saw in May gold clear these highs, we quickly lost momentum. It left quite a bit of imbalance. Now, in the last, from Friday to the last couple of trading days, the last 2 trading days, we saw gold clear these highs. So it had been sitting below these prices for about 44 days. We finally cleared anybody who was in sells. So retail sells get cleared out. The market gets to feel a little bit of imbalance, and it just loses all of its momentum the next trading day. So Friday, market closes super bullish. It's like gold to the moon. Everyone's super stoked on this. And then today was just like, well, I guess the last trading day, it said, yeah, no, we're good. So it just kind of lost the majority of this momentum. Does this mean that we're now short on gold? Okay, let's zoom in a little more. I'm going to go to the 12-hour just so we can get a little bit more detail. So here's what we got. Gold popped off, cleared these highs, traded off of where we've seen a pretty decent amount of resistance in the past. We've already reversed off of this zone before. Question for you guys. Is there still more of an imbalance over here? I would say yes. I think we have more of an imbalance to get to still. Definitely. And the lower the time frames will go, the more detailed we'll get. But I do believe we can still go higher and fill this. But it doesn't need to happen yet. So, what happens? Now, here was the trade that many people were asking me about. They say, hey, should we be selling gold? I'm looking at this, and this is where I got this question a lot. Should I be looking to sell this bad boy? They said, I see this move from my right there. and I see this. So this is what people were asking me about, and a lot of people did take this out. And I get it. But lucky for you guys, I've taught you how to use correlation and divergence to stay out of trades that look good, but you don't have the full context. Right? You need more context sometimes. So, what do? Gold looks good. You go, oh, this is brilliant. This is what we want. We want to sell this thing. Here's a big institutional, a big buy, big old buy. And then the market crashes. So, okay, what was the purpose behind this big move to the upside? Was it to capture sellers and then leave buyers high and dry? Yes. Market comes down, and then what does it do? Eventually it comes back up, it rebalances, but it just breaks above the high, stopping out the majority of people selling gold. No, couldn't be me. Why? Okay, no worries. Don't trip. It's all good. Here's why. Your boy Silver was lacking. Silver was slow. Silver was slow on its motion. It was it was a slow bull. So silver needed to keep climbing. That ends up pushing, that ends up pushing gold above its previous high. So if you guys were just watching the way they were both moving, you knew, okay, silver got to its key level way after gold. So you knew to just stay out of gold and then to take silver. Well, that's what we did. We took silver around New York Open when the market popped up into this zone. We took a sell. We caught some drawdown. Don't get me wrong. This wasn't a perfect trade. But we withheld this. And I did give myself a couple extra points, extra pips for the stop in case, things get a little messy. But yeah, and then we chopped our way down, and today we got to catch the move down. So now we have to ask ourselves, well, what's the play then? Because the market dropped, but also lost a little bit of momentum. We're actually seeing right now what I would call the mitigation. I wasn't so sure on this, but when the market swept these lows here, now you see how we've gone from higher time frames to lower time frames, and we carefully, intentionally narrowed our way into the market. That higher time frames on gold particularly, the higher time frames still have you with imbalance up here, imbalance up here, and liquidity down here. So there's motive for the market to go in both directions. But right now, looking at silver, less motive to go higher. I guess there is a little trade up here from way back in May. But imbalance wise, it's done its thing. There is motive for it to go down as well. But now we got to take a look at, can we stay in this sell? Does it make sense for silver to remain valid as a sell opportunity? The buy, cool, I get it. The reason I didn't take buys here was because when the market dropped aggressively, came back up, and it dropped in again. I'll show you guys. I want you guys to see what I was talking about. What I'm talking about here. This chopped up right off the zone real quick. Came down, came up, came down, came up. Actually, looking at this, I could have taken this. It really didn't make higher highs until up here, and then it didn't really come back to the zone. Whatever. It is what it is. So anyways, now the real push down here was about 50 pips, we'll say. So has this already traveled the 50 pips? Well, good sir, in fact, it's doing so basically right now. So has this fully mitigated this low? Yeah, it has. So, okay, does that mean that it's got to go make higher highs? It could. And the reason that it might is because We do have a little bit of, nah, that's not liquidity. We cleared that. So what do we look for? Now that this has gone the way it's gone, I'm going to take this, just move this over here for now. What happened? During New York session, Asian session, leading into New York session, we had quite a bit of resistance. Then we saw the market sweep, get above these highs, and then just work its way down. And at 10:30 a.m., the market just started to dump. Crazy. Central time. So, and we saw this coming. I literally said, guys, this liquidity buildup is good. On the live stream this morning, for all of you guys that plug in with me, all the members, you guys saw this. I was like, look, this buildup signs that silver can tank one more time, at least. Quick question, when you say stable new structure, how long does it have to hold to be considered stable? Man, that's a question I'm figuring out myself right now. Right now, it is not a fully mechanical approach. It's definitely slightly discretionary. I want to be able to answer that question more effectively. And at the moment, it's like, it's not a feeling per se, but you can, I don't know how to explain it. Like, if the market spikes down and then just right away basically comes right back up, the whole intention was not to make lower low. It was to go lower, but to get people stuck in here, to get buyers out and to get people stuck at the lows. So intention makes a big difference. Now, and this helps me so much, but to quantify, to say, okay, you need, if you're on the 15-minute and you get a new structure, you need 3 hours of lows. I haven't quite gotten that down to a science yet. And I'm just talking to you guys transparently, but being aware of the intention behind a higher high or a lower low or whatever it might be, the intention, like the narrative behind it, is what really matters. And that I do believe you can start to see that, and like your eye will develop the more you get to experience those movements. So basically, if a movement's a spike, and not so much a, like, for example, I'll give you guys an example, because I'm just being transparent. Like, when the market does something like this, let's say we're looking at a small time frame, right? The market here, it spiked up and then came just crashing back down. Is the market making this high giving you a higher high? No. The whole point of this move was to liquidate and make lows. You see how price stayed below this low and it just maintained below this low? That's stable, right? The market's chopping up, it's staying within the range. It does pull back briefly, but then makes its low again. Right now, we saw the market drop down, make lower lows. We stay below price for, I don't know, 7 hours or so. Is this ideal? Not really. I would have loved for it to be down here longer, but it was below the low. So could this still be valid? It's not the best, but it's not quite the spike down, right back up. So, and also, for example, gold is doing a much better job. And even the way that it's climbing up, it's very much, it's building up liquidity too. If you look at gold and if you look at silver, this isn't like a normal climb. This is highly, like there's tons of liquidity here. So silver right now on the way up is moving a bit more aggressively than gold is. So we may, and it depends on how you're managing this trade, but this may be quite the pullback before the continuation. I'm not sure. So, but right now, what I do like, if I were to reapproach this, what would I take? What would I prefer? Right now, guys, so let's say we're like, hey, you know what? I kind of see a new sell setup. Would I rather take gold, which is like right there? Here we had equal highs, choppiness, London session, New York session, sweeps the high, makes a new low. Would I want to take gold, or would I want to take silver? Or silver, choppy, sweeps the highs, then makes its move back down. Which one would I prefer? I'm just confused on how you can tell that liquidity on silver and gold. Can you explain it? It's just a trend line. So like, you see how there's a trend line. A trend line is like an angled support. So support. People are just buying this off of a trend line. That means that there's predictable buys. So that means that there's predictable stop losses with buys. That's how you can see liquidity in this fashion. So yes, of course, right now, hold up, things are freezing. I gotta close a couple things. 1 second, guys. There we go. Now it's smoother. So right now, if I were to take a setup, would I trade gold or would I trade silver? Well, we can use, this is where Fibonacci comes into play, and it's what it's for. It's like, yo, how far has this pulled back? Oh, look, it's pulled back somewhere between the 6.8 and the 71%. That means that silver has retraced 61.8% of its total move. Of the drop down, it has pulled back 61.8% of the move. If you look at gold, okay, gold has retraced, I think, less than 50% of the move. So, okay, let's pull this up. All right, there it is, right under 50%. So that means that gold is slower to rise. So the chances are that it's probably going to hold its structure better than silver would. For now, this could change. This could totally change. All of a sudden, we could just see silver start to crash faster, and then gold doesn't really do much, and now all of a sudden, silver is more bearish all over again. So that's how you can approach this perspective when you're looking at gold and silver and this idea overall. So right now, for example, I'm still in a silver sell. Now I'm like, man, I wish I was in the gold sell. But this could change. So we'll see. My stop at this point is like right over here. And what I could do is the following. If I do believe we can keep working our way down, then I could adapt, right? All right, now I have my stop right around here, a bit above, a bit into profit, slight profits, very little. I took some off the table here at this drop into this zone, because if I knew it was going to mitigate, or if I had a feeling, all right, we might mitigate here, let me at least collect something. You could always do that. If there's a mitigation zone that goes against your trade, always a good time to either take all of your money or pay yourself a little bit, or whatever amount you would want to. So just something to keep in mind, guys. So for now, that's my take on gold and silver. Overall, if let's say you're looking for a re-entry or an entry, I think at the moment it looks like gold might take a little bit longer to get to this zone, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, we went a bit in depth there, but I wanted to. I wanted you guys to get a good look at it. So let's see what hits next. Okay, so Bitcoin. Now, what will happen next? What is the fate of Bitcoin, Ethereum, the crypto landscape? What is going to happen? Are we going to be poor again? Is it going to zero? Or is it shaking out the naysayers? What is happening here? Now, I love looking at the total landscape, right? The total market cap. And this is very interesting. We had talked about imbalances being filled down here before. Now, when we had this May 1st push down, and it didn't quite fill in balance. I was a little suspicious, but you know, especially after we really respected here and started to climb, I'm like, all right, maybe we won't get there, I guess. Maybe we'll just get there eventually some other time. Total 2 had already done its thing. So I was like, all right, then yeah, I feel like we're going to be okay. And total 3 as well. Cool. So honestly, I wasn't fully expecting this. And again, I like to be transparent on this. I wasn't fully expecting us to go down one more time. It wasn't in my plan. Now, thankfully, I wasn't really leveraged. I have one leverage position still open on, and I'm still up 3x on that token itself, on the price. So I just got a nasty entry, and let's just pray that I can hold on to that, because it is that thing keeps pumping, and we're having a good time. But now, this is what is really interesting to me. We drop down, we fill in balance, and we come right back up. Total 2 market cap closes within the structure again. So here's where we would held the lows and we bounce back. Total 2 keeps it there. Total 3 stays pretty close, and the total market cap closes slightly under. Okay, now what happens? We leave a giant wick. The next day we start to climb. Saturday, the day before the week close. Sunday, the market drops. Immediately after, what's happening? The market tanks, but it loses all of its momentum. Okay. Second half of London session, New York session, the market tanks again, loses all its momentum. So now we're at a place where we have successfully filled in balance. Price is refusing to stay at these levels. Market immediately recovers. The market drops again. Immediately recovers. Does this thing want to stay up here or not? So my perspective is this. I genuinely believe that this is what I call a shakeout play. I think we're seeing, what's up, Marcos? What's good, bro? All love, bro. Wherever you are in the world, man, sending you a big ass hug, bro. So wherever at in the world, it's so sick to see you on here. Marcos and OG. So we've seen a break and retest. What do the majority see when they see a break and retest, guys? They think to sell. Not only that, this is the ultimate higher time frame break and retest. You see a bearish engulfing pattern here. People will jump on a landmine to take a sell right here. The market immediately pumps right back up. I think this is really pulling in sellers. If you look at even the context on a emotional standpoint for a lot of like CT, a lot of crypto Twitter, if you people are really bearish now, super bearish. And I'm thinking, okay, step away from this. I don't need this. I don't need this to go hyperbolic right now. If this goes lower, dude, sick. We can just get more crypto. I'm down for that. I'm super down for that. So cool. I like that. I'm not against it. So now I'm evaluating this and I'm thinking, okay, if I'm coming from a place where I don't need to be bullish, I'm okay with whatever direction this goes in. What is this showing me? The total market cap here drops, and this is what I'm talking about when it comes down to structure. This is not, in my opinion, this is not a lower low. The market drops below, yeah, of course, I'm not blind, but it instantly comes back. It drops below and instantly comes back. This is where, like I think Dylan said here, he said, I feel the way you perceive is more based on perception and intuition. And I do think it's a sense of, it is perception and a bit of intuition, but I think it's just narrative. And so I do think that the market is, I think we can see this thing really start to pump. And that's where I'm at right now. I'm willing to bet on that. I don't need to be right. Obviously, I'm not saying in regards to like I'm gonna put the farm on it. No, but I am willing to open positions to see this thing right. That I am willing to do. So with that being said, I am bullish from this point on because I've seen this type of behavior before. And now people who've traded with me, who've seen actually a little bit, this is not my main setup. This is not the go-to. This is kind of the second more rare situation. But man, I have seen the break and retest, lures in tons of sellers. From here, we run. Would you put the Rancho on Bonk and Trump coin? Definitely not Trump coin. I don't have enough context. I mean, it could probably go. I feel like I wouldn't be totally surprised. But would I put the Rancho on it? Would I put the Rancho on it? I don't know, man. There's a lot of love for the Rancho. That's obviously nothing I ever say here is ever financial advice. I don't know anything. I'm totally just a baboon here on these markets. So I would never ever give financial advice whatsoever. Yeah. But I would say if you like where attention is going, maybe your money should go that way too. So yeah, anyways, and even if you look at kind of the law of cause and effect with the Wyckoff principles, I'm not someone who studies volume a whole bunch, just not a rabbit hole I've dove into, but in combination, I mean, these things go really well. So I do like buys. Could it go a little bit lower? Sure. I mean, the total market cap could go lower a little bit. Do I think it's going to go below the low again? I don't think so. I think from here we can start seeing things go well. So portfolio-wise, I feel really good about the market going forward. I've seen this type of setup happen on indices, on small time frames, and we can go look at it. Oh, you're saying I would put the Rancho on Bonk and Trump coin. I've never actually talked about Trump coin before. Bonk, I think Bonk can pop for sure. The shakeout is to confirm is essentially the move after the spring UTED and then the entry is a test, right? Yeah, you could look at it that way. We could look at it kind of like this. So here we can go accumulation schematics. So for example, let's see which ones we got here. I'll just pull up some random one. I'm sure it'll be fine. What the, dude, that's such trash. Why would they do this? Never mind. Medium is trash. Dude, why is this the number one? This is what they're doing. Look at what they're doing to people, man. This is how you get people messed up. You take something good and you just, you can't just oversimplify things like this. This is how people lose, dude. Fucking dude, people are trash. Okay, so let's talk about it. If we are to go into this idea of a shakeout and you wanted to add a bit of context in terms of like to make this more simple, right, to understand what this could look like, I want to find like an actual textbook accumulation. It's kind of like this one here. No, that's just an actual, let's see, where are we at? It's kind of like this. You could use this one. This one's fine. This one's been, I've seen this one before. So it's like a low volume, failed sell off, the test, and then you let it rip from here. If you want to look at it from a retail perspective, it's kind of a break and retest, and it's really just meant to lure in one more wave of sellers before it really rips. So one way to look at it. But yeah, Google Images is not the go-to for any source of material moving forward. Bless you. Yeah, so anyways, if we go and apply this to the, dude, I'm gonna be here for a little bit. I still gotta go over USD. Shit. All right, so if we look at some actual cryptos, I'll go over bigger ones. How do you go over your shakeout strategy in the academy? I don't very often because you don't really need it. You really need just one setup model to make it work. So the shakeout one, I don't teach too much because honestly, you only really need one, and it's not like it's this is my hidden secret. It's just to keep things simple and to have people really win. It's not something that's required. But I think I'm gonna do I'll do a small, probably with indices. Maybe not. Maybe I'll do a separate. But I think I'll do like a 1-2 day mini bootcamp on that type of entry model, because it's just an entry model. It's not an exit strategy. It's just a way to get into the market, something that you can use to kind of catch a move. But that's the cool thing. You only need one. It was just something that I kind of discovered over the course of the last 2 years. But with that being said, Bitcoin, from where we're at now, this 56 and change, I like it. I think we can see it run, considering that we have liquidity. We haven't seen distribution. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not really concerned. I think we're gonna see this thing run, to be honest. I think we're gonna go hit 75, maybe a little under. This is gonna be the true test. This is what I'm really curious about. I've been really curious about if Bitcoin holds above these highs. Part of me could see this kind of give us the distro. That's a possibility. We clear it. We get probably a little short. Everyone wants to see 75K, so maybe we don't even get it because the amount of exits are going to be super high there. So maybe we get into the 74s, and I'd be curious to see if we hold it and if this becomes a distribution, or if we get one of those typical little pullbacks and then we just get one of the reaccumulation vibes and then this thing just fucking sends it. So one of these things are possible. This, or it just becomes a distribution, and then we see this bad boy come up, crushes liquidity, and then it truly starts to work its way back down. Maybe we see something like this, and then we just work to wherever the hell we got to get to. So we'll see what happens. But I think the big thing I'm curious about with how the cycle goes is going to be based on this, and obviously the assumption that we do go higher. But I like my odds. I'm not betting the house on it or anything like that, but I'm adding to my positions, and I am going to be opening a bit of leverage positions in some volatile plays. So I'll look at some other big ones that I know everyone here, a lot of you guys have your eyes on, like for example Sol. I think Sol, it came back to the buy zone before. Sol didn't really suffer as much. So if you look at Bitcoin came and, wait, hold on, where did Bitcoin go? Bitcoin went way below everything else. Sol and ETH too. Sol, oh look at this. I'm not in ICP. I know a lot of you guys love ICP. I'm not in this. I don't know. I just see other plays, but I know a lot of you guys do like it, and so if you do want to take this on, for example, Sol, I think Sol from here is probably going to be all right, and this could definitely, even just getting back to all-time highs, that's a nice, not even all-time highs, the highs of this year, over 50%. That's a low, to me, that's a low risk play overall. How is the crypto moving during the last election? Does that factor in? Yeah, crypto was doing its thing that last election. I'll give you context. Here is not with Sol though. Sol wasn't really around for all that. Well, not a lot here. I can pull up Sol, but I need a different exchange. Sol really cranked things up, like just this thing just cooked. But I still don't have enough with that. Bitfinex might have a bit more. There we go. So launch in like March, and then just gone. But to give you a better example for elections, this is where we were at. So elections were like right here. Elections were kind of the start of true parabolic timing. So here is, boom, right there. This week, I forgot what day election was. I think it was like the 3rd of November or something like that. And after that, this thing just went boom. This is beautiful. Honestly, this was like, we bought at elections and you would have been cruising. And we basically got back to that, actually. Look at that. A perfect 2 years later. 2 perfect years later, price came right back to election times. Isn't that lovely? Ain't that something else? So, yeah. That's really interesting to me. So, I'm curious to see where we'll be at during elections. We are roughly, what is it, July right now? So we're 4 months away, right? Probably, from what it's looking, I'll probably see Trump somehow back in office. Ain't that something else? A felon. I'm not political. I mean, it just makes sense though. Like, it doesn't look good for someone who has like Alzheimer's or something, Parkinson's or something. Dude's not doing all right. But yeah. So, anyways, this looks good. Jump. Big fan of Jump. Right now, we're at a point where this could, man, 2.5x. Even just getting to what we've seen before. That's beautiful. Leverage positions here, I like for sure. We filled imbalances here. Jump could be a banger trade. Let's see what else we got. On the meme side of things, Brett, maybe we get lower, maybe not. Let's see here. Maybe this has got a little bit of moves here. This came down, chopped up, came down. You might be all right with Brett. I'd keep my stops probably like right around here. Let's see. Right now, this is the token that symbolizes for now, a whole bunch of 3 AI coins came together, and they're cooking up here. So let's zoom out a little bit, see where this could get to. I mean, this is pretty fair. I don't know. Where I'm at right now, and when it comes down to leverage positions, I'd say find your setup, find something that you like long term. I wouldn't say use a high amount of leverage, but place your bets accordingly. If there's ever been a good time for a low risk, high reward scenario, I mean, it looks like this could be a good time. We're talking about, even if you're not even taking this low, but just opening it up a little bit to here. Overall, I mean, 5R plus a little bit of leverage, looks like a good time. Maybe you want to tighten it up. You're zooming in on the smaller time frame. You're looking at, trading inside of this structure instead. You go, hey, no, I like it. I like where we're at. And then cool. Take a trade and tighten up your stop, then more. Your leverage would be good. But as always, guys, it all comes down to how you are managing your money. That's what matters the most. If your money, if the moment you're in a trade or in a position and you're nervous, first question is am I putting too much money at risk that I feel comfortable with? Guys, let's get some more likes for Mike, please. Yo, that's love right there. Yeah. Smack that like button. I don't even know there was a like button for the streams. shout out shout out to Chin Thaka. Can you look at your odd? All right. Anyway, so that's crypto. I am bullish from here. I do think we're seeing a lot of luring in of sellers. Let's see how it turns out. All I know is that I could be wrong, and that's cool. I'm okay with being wrong. It's worth taking a swing at it. And I didn't take it anything here. I didn't do anything over here. I just wanted more context. Now I feel like I have enough context. In reality, I started to get some right here, a little bit lower, right under 56. But we're not too far away. So yeah, that's what I got right now for you guys in terms of crypto. And then I'm gonna wrap up really quickly with what I see with indices. I don't really have much so far with the US dollar. It's going to be a busy week for US dollar, but I don't see too much possible plays on NZD USD for a sell. I'm going to just quickly go over that super fast. So NZD USD, if we zoom out here, everything else kind of started to mitigate this big pump, or it started to get up in that zone, like Euro USD and GU. You know, we're starting to see a little bit of a drop with GU, a little bit of drop with EU, and it was this huge candle from CPI of last month. NZD USD has the same CPI, big position, but the pullback is just not as aggressive. So I'm just being patient. I feel like maybe the CPI we get in 3 days pumps us up into this area and mitigates it also. So I'm gonna wait. I'm staying out of this for the dollar until something like that goes down. So that's my dollar perspective, is NZD USD. I think this can go down during CPI here in a couple days. So let me see here. There's one of the, where's that button? Where's this thing? Vertical line. So let's see. Wednesday here, CPI. Yeah, news. This is when it could happen. I'm not a fortune teller. Despite rumors that don't have a magic crystal ball, but we'll see what happens. Euro odd, sure, I can take a look at Euro odd for you. Okay, so pretty choppy. We're squeezing quite a bit. Market struggling to get above these highs, but also struggling to get below these lows. Interesting, it's squeezing pretty strongly. Do I see an opportunity? I mean, this looks like it mitigated this huge sell. We got above here briefly, and then it came down and just really went for it. So that's going on there. We could get back down to this imbalance right around here. It looks like the market dropped, continued. So I do think we can get kind of into this zone. For buys, that's possible. Now, the one thing you want to keep in mind, though, is does Euro odd have any sort of correlation with Euro NZD or GBP odd? Euro NZD looks like also very similar price action, but it's moving on. I did like Euro NZD buys, but I couldn't get to it in time. It mitigated really high up here. So I wanted to see a possible buy situation here, but it mitigated rather quickly. So I didn't get to be positioned in that. I think Euro NZD is a lot more bullish than Euro AUD. So I would rather be looking for buys with Euro NZD than Euro AUD. CPI is Thursday. My bad. Thank you for that. It's not FOMC. I definitely just confused that. Let me go back. Hold up. What a noob. What a noob. Yeah, that did seem a little too close, huh? Okay, Thursday. There we go. Thank you. Thursday, 7:30 a.m. Central. You have, so right before that 8 a.m. candle. Appreciate you. Quickly to go over, I do want to show you guys possible scenario with oil. I haven't looked at it since earlier, so this may or may not still be valid. Let's see. Oh yeah, okay, for sure. So US oil, this is what I'm talking about in regards to stable structure. Price gets below the low. Yes, it comes right back up, but now price is holding below, right? We've seen hours of the market below. This is a lower low to me. We're actually trading below price. It's not like a quick gimmick. It's not back and down, back and forth. It's actually trading below. So I do like sells with US oil. And I now have an alert for this bad boy when the time comes. So US oil, definitely like sells. Maybe it comes down a little lower. I might have two entries. I might split my risk on this one. Entry here and entry there. Overall, this is kind of where we've seen the market reverse pretty well in the past, right around this zone. So good reversal areas here. So something like this could be clean. And then where would I aim? Two options. You can use Fibonacci, or you can take a more take an approach on just clearing liquidity here. So there's imbalance that I don't think we've gotten to that I think we can reach. So something like this could work. 12 RR, ain't that something special? That's a convicted play. I don't know when this is going to start to reverse, but if it were to stop right now for whatever reason, then I would use fib levels for right around 786, 886. So I would approach an exit around between the 14.6 and the 27.2. So right around kind of this area here. So two ways to look at this. I like fib extensions for sure with exits. They've worked really well for me. That's, I think, a more conservative approach for sure. Okay, so yeah, and guys, obviously these streams are not meant to be super beginner friendly. I'm literally just diving in, analyzing, breaking it down without having to go super basic. So looking at indices, NASDAQ no chill bullish, S&P no chill bullish, US 30. Will this be a valid sell? You had a massive move on New York Open, big pump. Market shoots up, comes crashing down, chopping its way down, getting below this low, trades down here for quite some time. I mean, we were below this for a good 4.5 hours, actually a little bit longer, kind of basically going into the new day. If this gets back down here for Asian or London session, I really do, I'm down for the sell. So we saw a massive move up here. This liquidates a couple weeks worth of people selling. So that was kind of expected, and then comes crashing back down. Doesn't quite stay down here. It does for a bit. So could we see a reversal? I think it's likely. Does it have to make to this lower low? Maybe. So I'm going to reapproach this and have a better idea by pre-New York Open. Tomorrow we don't have news before New York Open, but we do have it after. So we'll take a look at this, and I'll reapproach this later. When it comes down to NASDAQ and S&P 500, I'm not really in the market for buys. I don't have a setup. I wish I could be buying this thing because it doesn't seem to want to stop, but I just don't have a setup, at least not with NAS. NAS a little liquidity here. S&P though, S&P drops, clears lows, and recovers pretty well. So S&P may be a different story. There may be a nice buy setup here, but in order to take a buy, this also has to, in order to take a buy setup here, I do need this to get to this level after NAS. Right now, I'm not so sure if that's going to be the case. So I'm going to be mindful, but if Nas is kind of slower on the way down, then I won't approach it. But yeah, that's kind of my take on the overall market. We've been here for a minute, guys, hour and like 20 minutes. So much love to y'all. Right now, if you are looking to have a guide in this process for the next 90 minutes, to be a member is only $99 for your first month and $185 the months that follow it. You literally have 90 minutes though. So if you do want to do that, reach out to me, fill out the form that's in my description. Everybody else, if you're already learning with me, awesome, love y'all, keep doing it. If you want to keep learning independently, awesome, love y'all, keep doing it. Use the resources, keep crushing it. Always love here. You guys will have some more videos from me on here throughout the week, possibly tomorrow, if not for sure, Wednesday and Thursday. So much love, y'all. Appreciate you being here. And anything else y'all ever need, just feel free to shoot a message. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out, fam.